Happy Sunday! Happy Sunday! Beautiful Facebook group. How's everyone this morning? Just here on the boat. There was talk of me going in the lake today with the wing foil and foil board, but you know what? It's so white and rainy and windy as well. I just thought I would literally get blown. I'd end up in a different lake if I even tried today. So I felt like I needed to it's been a few days now where I felt like I've needed to have a conversation about the power of your mind, because I am so aware that when I'm talking a lot about how we've got our minds that are programmed and that they control us, and that sometimes the decisions we make are not our decisions but they are from our programmed mind, I'm very aware that that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to people, and it wouldn't have made sense to me a few years ago either. So I just wanted to explain that in a way that will really resonate with everybody. And I keep getting that I need to share something, and I've had resistance around doing this, but I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Because the example that I'm going to give to you to help you to realise the power of your mind, it might feel uncomfortable to some of you watching. Morning Tracy, thank you for watching, my darling. Yeah, it might feel uncomfortable to some of us watching, but I do feel that we need to get serious about this. You know, we need to be aware of this stuff. We need to start to be able to take control of our minds, and if we're not aware of how our minds are operating and how they are influenced, then we can't take control of them. We can't truly step into our power. So that's why I feel like I need to do this video to hopefully help people to understand how easily you are influenced. Okay, so what I'm going to do is rewind to the beginning of 2020. Yeah, we all know what happened that year. And just remember, just cast your mind back to what happened then, what we were told to think, to believe, to expect. Because I know for me, my experience, I thought I'd be stepping out of my front door and seeing bodies piled up, okay? Remember what we were shown on the TV, what was happening in other parts of the world. And it was that constant repeated message, wasn't it? It wasn't once and, you know, this is a possibility, don't worry, you know, we're keeping this under control. It was that constant repeated message. Here's what's coming, this is what's going to happen, it's going to be horrific, okay? So we were all in that place of like real worry and fear and locking ourselves away because it's what we were told to do. It was what we expected because we thought we were told to expect a lot of people dropping down around us. And I didn't realise at the time, but now I do realise that part of how our minds are influenced is when we are in that low vibration. And what I mean by low vibration is when we're in a place of fear, worry, anxiety, anything that makes you feel down, that's a low vibration. When you're in that place, it's easier to be controlled, it's easier to take orders, it's easier to follow instructions, right? And I didn't realise that before, and that's again one of the reasons why it's so important that we keep our vibration, we keep focused on happy things. But anyway, go back to, like I said, beginning of 2020, and we're being told all of this stuff. You know, we're worrying, we're keeping away from our loved ones, we're locking ourselves away, we're not getting out. And just think back, how many people do you know that did drop down at that time? You know, you switch the TV on, you look at other parts of the world, and you see them piled up, don't you? You see how bad it's going to get, and you expect that. But really, how much of that did you see? How many people back then were affected? Actually, in your world, in your bubble, in your, not bubble, that's a stupid word to use, that was their word, but in your world, how many people were actually affected by it? And if they were ill, what did we label it? If somebody did die, we didn't put it down as what we normally would have done. Flu, pneumonia. You know, my dad passed away in 2019 and that was pneumonia. But if it was in 2020, it would have been classed as something else. Why? Because that's what we were told. That was what we were told to believe. So when you look back and you actually think about how many people were affected, how many more people were ill than what you would normally expect, it wasn't that much more, was it? But we thought it was. Because that was what we were told to believe, that was what we were told to expect, that was what the constant messaging was everywhere you looked. Now this was intense. It was on the TV, it was in the shops, it was on billboards, it was on social media, it was passed through your friends and family because everyone was so programmed, everybody was spouting exactly the same information. Yeah. It's uncomfortable to go back and remember what it was like. Of course it is. And this is why, you know, it's hard, because the ego part of your mind wants to be right. Yeah? The ego's job is to make sense of this world that we live in and to keep us safe by making decisions what it thinks is right for us. And when our ego is influenced and it makes decisions, it's really difficult for that ego to accept anything that contradicts what it believes. It's called cognitive dissonance. And it's hard. Yeah, Tracy, exactly. That's why so many people started battling with mental health. Because all the extra fear, absolutely. And that in itself, Tracy, the fear, that constant fear, that constant reminder, when you're in that lower vibration, you attract illness. You are ill. Yeah, you get more colds, you get more flus, you stick a whatever up your nose and you think it's COVID. Hi, Serena. Serena, I felt like I've been needed to do this video for a while, so here we are. Yeah, so we just as a recap, we've gone back to 2020. I'm talking about the power of mind control and what happened in 2020 and how it influenced our expectations, what we were doing, our actions, our beliefs. Every time somebody got ill, you know, we labelled it something because that was what we were told to label it. Yeah, but if we think back, actually, how many extra people got ill? How many extra people did drop down when we was expecting to open our doors and see them all on the street? So anyway, let's move on a little bit. We move on, and then we get told about this wonder miracle, yeah? This thing that goes in your arm, you know what I'm talking about. And again, we are constantly bombarded with this information. As Serena just talking to Dad about it, having an natter about the control and division. This is exactly what I'm coming on to right now. The division. The division there was horrific. Can you remember back to what this looked like? So we're told about this. And to some people, it felt like the right thing to do. To other people, it felt like the wrong thing to do. But that constant reminder, barrage, TV pumping it out, everywhere you look, billboards, social media, everything, your friends, your family, the peer pressure. How many of us felt like it was wrong to do, but yet still went and did it? For the peer pressure. Serena, we've literally been talking about the exact same thing. Do you know what, Serena? I've literally been sat here and this came to me 2 days ago and I'm like, I have to do it. And I'm thinking, I don't want to talk about this because it's such a touchy subject. But yeah, you've just confirmed that I'm doing the right thing, so thank you. But yeah, just going back to this, how many people, how many of us knew it was wrong, felt it was wrong inside of us, but we still succumb to that peer pressure because of that constant barrage, that constant reminder. Not only that, I want to swear, the fuckers decide to drop people out of the jobs and stop people travelling and all the rest of it. I mean, seriously? Like, exactly as Sarita just said. Divide and control. Yeah? Let's just get them all to fight against each other, argue about this, that and the other. The more people waking up more, yeah, waking up too. It's 2024 is going to be massive. People are seeing this now, you know? We can start to see through it. But if you're in that place, I just want to say, wait until the end of the video, because it's not, we're going to end on a high, I promise you. We're going on a journey here, so understand the mind, but I promise you we're ending on an absolute high, so bear with me. I know it's uncomfortable. I know a lot of people have gone on this journey internally themselves, especially with Roy at work. There's so many people now that are realising this stuff. But I just wanted to put it out there because I want people to know they are not alone. If you're asking questions, you are not alone, all right? Everybody is. Not everybody, clearly, but a lot of people are. So now we're in this place where people are, you know, are getting this thing in their arm, and then there's a division, and, you know, there's all of that going on, and it's tough. It's really tough. It was really, really tough, you know? Anyway. But now I wanted to ask, moving to where we are now, and this is where it's going to get tough. How many people are you actually noticing now in your world, in your actual, with the people around you, who are starting to suffer with the blood clots, with the strokes, with heart attacks, unexpectedly, after a short illness? Yeah? Is this the new normal? How many of those had the thing in the arm? This syndrome that we get told about. Sudden, was it death? Be careful what I'm saying. But this is normal now, isn't it? Can you see how this has happened? Can you see what it might be? Now, like I said, I don't want you to be in a place of worry, because here is where I need you to expand your awareness, yeah? Because what we are told to think and believe, and what we are told about this reality where we live now, there's so much more to it. There's so much more. And this physical world, you know, what you can see, what you can touch, what you can taste, you know, and smell what's around you, that's only a tiny, tiny part of what this reality actually is and what is available to us. But it's difficult because you can't see it. You cannot see what is out there. And this is where you've got to come back to that place of trust and just being open-minded. And when we talk about raising our conscious awareness, it is opening your mind to that place where you're believing in something that is not tangible, that is not physically in front of you, right? And it's difficult to do. It was difficult for me when I first started tapping into this, constantly asking myself, is this real? Am I imagining this? Am I making this up? So I want you to, first of all, just try and be open to the idea that there is more to this world, this life, than what we are led to believe. And that is part of the reason why we are kept in this place of fear. You know, you turn the TV on any day, whatever you put on, all you will see is low vibrational crap, right? I know it's changing a little bit now. Obviously, we're in the Great Awakening, you know, we're getting more and more truth through, which is amazing. But you know, we've been kept in this place of this is what to fear next, this is what to worry about next, this is what to think next. Tracy, yes, sorry, I'm just reading comments here from the place I'm in now. Think back to how I used to believe everything. Oh my goodness, I did. I want to shake. Tracy, there's no more. Like, Gullible was literally my middle name, right? Literally my middle name. I would believe anything anybody told me. So I am totally with you on that. Yeah, anyway, so where was I talking to? Yeah. So, if you're going to come out the other side of this, I need you to be open to the idea that there's more than what we see physically in front of us. There's a reason we are kept in this really low vibration place. There's a reason why we're kept, you know, told what to worry about, what to think about, and what to believe in. Okay? So with that in mind, you hear me talking a lot about energy. You might hear me talk about coming from the heart and feeling things and feeling what to do rather than using your mind. And the reason is your heart holds on, you know, that's a connection to your soul. Now your soul is bigger than the body sat there, it's bigger than the mind. Your soul's connected to all that is. Okay? Now, if you think about energy, if you think about how life's created, right? If you actually think about that, there's more to this reality, isn't there, than just us. It's just a big bang. Oh, we just happen to exist. You know, when you look at nature, when you look at the patterns in a tree trunk and look at the patterns on your thumb, when you look at again, I'm just looking up at the trees now. When you look at the patterns, you know, when you look at the branches on a tree, and then you look at a scan of your lung and you can see the patterns. Tortoise shells, your brain, the scarab beetle, I think. I don't know if Food is still watching this. There's so many things, clues in nature to show you that it's all divinely created. We are not just an accident that just happened to, you know, end up on this ball of whatever flying through space. You know, it's not an accident. It's all divinely created. And you are so much more bigger. You are so much more powerful. You are so much more significant, important, wonderful, special, incredible than what this life has led you to believe. You are an incredible soul, and you are directly connected to that energy that is, that all that is, that creator, that source, that infinite intelligence, whatever label you want to put on it, God if you're religious, whatever you want to put on it. There is a universal power, life force, energy out there. Not out there, in us. We've got it in us. It's not something that is external to us. We've got our connection, and our connection is through our heart. And the way we tap into that is through our feeling. Is by trying to drop out of our mind and just think, what is my body telling me is right? What is my body telling me that is right now? And once you're open to that idea, then if you are in a position, you know, where you have had these things in your arm and you're wondering, you know, what can I do? You've all got a team. We have all got a team of non-physical energies, beings, whatever you want to call it. People call them spirit guides. They're all with us. And they're around you. They're around you. They're constantly trying to get your attention, trying to help you, trying to help give you advice and put you on a path which is for your highest good. They're always with you, but they can't do anything to help or to intervene unless you ask them. So what I would ask you to do, if you are in that place, is just say, listen, if you're there, I'm open to help. I'm open to help. You know, show me how I can detox my body from this stuff. Help me to meet the right people who are going to help me to understand this stuff more. Help me to get on the right path. Help me to find out what healthy things I can do to get this stuff flushed out of my body. Yeah, because they are there, they are willing, they are waiting to help you, but they can't help you unless you ask, because this life, again, is all about free will. We all have free will, and we need to ask before they can intervene and help. Okay, so that's what I would say. If you're in that position, I would say definitely be open, because everything's energy, and our minds have even just setting the intention to get this stuff out, you can absolutely do, but you need to believe it's possible. So you need to build that belief up first, knowing you can do this. Okay, so tap into that energy. Just tap into it, just talk to them. And then be open to the messages that come through. You know, look at what comes through your letterbox, look at the junk mail, look at the messages that are in there. When you turn the TV on and somebody says a phrase and then your next door neighbour says exactly the same thing to you, that's a message. Don't question it. You're scrolling on social media, something comes and you're like, oh, is that a message? The very fact that you've asked, is that a message? That means it's a message. Okay? This is how they communicate with us. They're constantly around us. Everything around you in your reality is a sign. Especially when you ask them, show me a sign. Show me a robin, show me a feather, show me something, and just be open to how that comes. But believe it, because if you don't believe it, do you know what? You're going to be shut off from it. Your ego needs to be right, remember? And to override your ego is going to take a little bit of work. You're going to have to push it back in its box, and it does take work to do, because it's a massive jump. You've lived your entire life. How long have you been alive? Your complete lifetime has been living via ego, via mind, via programs. So it takes time to trust that that robin is actually your uncle, or trust that that message is actually divinely sent to you. Repeated numbers, if you see them, don't question them. Just notice. What do I think that number is for me? You know, most people start off seeing the 1111. Yeah, but for me, it's always different. 1313, 911, constantly, you know? They're always different for us all. And even Google it, what does this angel number mean? Spiritual number, spiritual meaning of this number. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Yeah, and this is why I just felt like I needed to do it again. I was like having breakfast early thinking, am I really going to talk about this? But yeah, I felt like I needed to. Okay, so practical things as well. If you are in that place of, oh dear, I've taken these things in my arm and I wish I didn't take these things in my arm because now I'm starting to see. Look at things like, do a bit of research around pine needle tea. Pine needles, yes, we chop down Christmas trees, don't we? We bring them in our houses, we cut them all down. Actually, there's an awful lot of amazing medicinal qualities in pine needles, pine needle tea. Do your own research. Please don't take what I'm saying. I tried it once, didn't taste very nice, but I have a pretty good diet, so I don't feel like I need it. But have a look into these things. Look into zeolites. Look into heavy metal detoxing. Spirulina, coriander. Because there'll be a lot of more information now on the internet now that more and more people are stepping into this place. Because when I first started looking into all of this and heavy metal detox, so when we say heavy metals, we are literally bombarded with these heavy metals that stay in our bodies. You know, everything that we eat, everything you get from the supermarket, they spray all of these chemicals over the crops, plants, fertilizers. A lot of it is disgusting, right? Even your aeroplanes firing out the chemtrails and all of that. We're literally bombarded with it. It's in our bodies, and it creates disease in the body. It creates all sorts of illnesses and issues with the functionality of how we operate as humans and our bodies. So just look into that heavy metal detox, and yeah, just start taking stuff. You know, think about what you're eating: organic food, filtered water. I've got a Kangen machine, which when I first started finding out about this, I was like, I need Kangen water, but the machines are really expensive. But eventually I managed to get one. So yeah, just be aware of what you're putting in your body, because pretty much everything is designed not for our highest good. So have a think about that. Now, what I want to say, I want to end this on actually no, I just want to make one more point. So the other point I want to make is, I always talk about you get what you put your attention on, right? Now, with this whole, what we've just talked about since 2020, and it might come up again, you know, there's a lot of people saying we're going to be bombarded again with another great big fear mongering, who knows. But fairly soon into that was my boom wake up call. So thankfully, I didn't put much of my attention at all on this after the first maybe month, 6 weeks into it. And guess what? Because of that, I took absolutely no notice of it. I didn't know anybody who had caught it, anything more serious than what a common cold would be. And I don't know anyone who's actually passed away with it. Because I've given it absolutely no attention of mine at all. It doesn't even exist to me. And I know that sounds crazy because so many people watching this might be surrounded by people that have had it a million times and so many people passed away from it, but it's not in my reality. We literally create our reality. And when you put your attention and focus on things, you're bringing that into your world. I absolutely refuse to put my attention and focus on things. Even when it sounds harsh, but when people are telling me about illnesses and they're not feeling right, and I've got compassion and I'm listening, but I'll shut it down as quickly as I can because I don't want that in my reality. I don't want to know those things. I want to know how amazing people are doing. I want to know how fantastic life is. I want to know about all the little things that have gone right rather than the one big thing that's gone wrong, because the little things that go right, guess what? They're going to grow into more little things that go right, which will grow into the bigger things that go right. So just be aware when you're around people who are constantly talking about these things, they're constantly trying to bring your vibration down. Just find ways to shut off those conversations and turn them onto something good, that feels good, that feels right. And raise everybody's vibration. You're doing the world a service when you're doing this, yeah? Right, okay, so now I'm just leaving you with the two choices here. Hang on. Yeah, just two choices. So what we've talked about today is deep. And if you have been affected, it's going to promote some pretty deep feelings, yeah? Especially if you've lost loved ones after having the things in your arm and all the rest of it. Now you've got a choice. You can go down that place of anger, resentment, fear, worry, wanting answers, yeah? But you know what? All you're going to get is what you focus on. You're going to get more anger, more fear, more resentment. Yeah, wanting answers, you know? Is that what you want to create in your life? It's not. So where your power is now is realising who you are, how powerful you are. I'm just reading Tracy's comment here. I think this is why a lot of people struggle with understanding that we create our own reality, yeah. Because it's taking responsibility for why things happen in your life. Yes, 100%. So this is your choice. You take this information and you go knock on the doctor's door and you fight them and get really angry at all the people that told you to go take your bits and bobs in your arms and stuff. Or you just stop and you go, no, this is my turning point. I want to stand in my power. I'm open to understanding who I am. I'm open to getting my connection to source open, standing in my power, controlling my mind, taking back control of this so that I can actually start creating amazing things happening in my life, good things opening up, doors to open up, opportunities to open up. And this is where we get to stand in our power, guys. We get to do this. Even if you've had all of your boosters and jabs and whatever else, it's absolutely fine. It's fine. You just have to stand in your power. You ask your guides, send you some information on how to detox your body, how to get these heavy metals out. They will. You'll start seeing it coming through. Get them to send you friends of new friends, family connections who are on the same path, who are also thinking the same things, who are also starting to wake up with the same questions, ideas, you know? Because there's so many people now who are questioning this, who are ready to move away from the fear. Because they have controlled us for so long in this really low place, making us think and believe that we are nothing. And it is complete and utter bollocks, because you watching this right now are way more powerful than what you can imagine. You just need to learn to tap into that and believe it. Now just imagine what happened in 2020. We were all controlled after a couple of days or weeks of TV bombarding us with the same information. Yeah, that came out of nowhere, and it was constant telling us that information. And after a few days or weeks, we were all locked away in our houses, scared, expecting everyone to die. Now, how old are you? You have had that number of years of programming telling you you are nothing, you are nobody, you are not significant, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not capable, you're not important, whatever it is. It has all been programmed. Your parents were programmed, their parents were programmed. They all believe this same stuff. It's nonsense. We are divine beings. We are incredibly powerful. Our energy can create worlds. We can create by using our thought and intention. The only thing that is stopping us is our belief that we can. But start to get curious about this. Start to dive into this, because when you've got this key and you realise what the difference is between your mind telling you something, those doubts, that's impossible, I can't do that, I can't possibly manifest 10 grand in a week, that's impossible for me. Well, yeah, it is. If you think that, you've got to learn to control your mind. You've got to learn to realise that that's just your mind. It's not you. You are way bigger than what you think you are. You are way more important, way more special, way more incredible. And that's what I want to leave you with today. So the choices are: take the information we've talked about today and worry about it, or be more mindful about what you're consuming, who you're surrounding yourselves with, what you're putting your attention on, your energy on, what you're focusing on. And as soon as you start to make that shift, as soon as you start to be like, I don't like the sound of this, I want to watch something that feels better, I want to do something that's going to make me feel better today, guess what? All you're going to do is attract more and more things into your world that will make you feel better. So that's what I want to leave you with. I hope that found you well. And remember, the ego's huge. It's got a massive hold on us, all of us. But once we learn to try and step away from that, to literally just unlock our power. It's madness, but also incredible. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's 13:13 and I'm going to end this here. Goodbye, my loves.